4 years. I think the last time you were here, it was 85, 86. It was 86, and look at us now. It's the 90s. Can you believe it? 10 more years we'll be in the 2000s. You brought me back that prototype, and you seem to really enjoy it. Obviously, the Nintendo Entertainment System came out to a great success, and I have something I want to show you. I'm glad you're here. Do you remember that very rare prototype that I showed you about 4 years ago? Yeah, okay. It's coming out very soon. With the success of the Nintendo Entertainment System, Nintendo has made the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I know, not the best name. They could have came up with something else besides just putting the word super in front of it, but maybe they were holding on to that brand name. Most everyone knows about the NES now, so saying that this is the Super NES, or I've heard some people call it the SNES. Exactly. It'll probably perform really well. So, last time you were here, a while ago, I just had the console, but Nintendo has sent me some games to review, and it's great. It's really, really fun. If you enjoyed the first one, this is a huge upgrade. So just to go over some things real quick, it functions almost completely the same as the Nintendo Entertainment System, with just a few upgrades. So we still have the contraption here on top to put your games into. The back has changed a little. So we have power here and the multi-out. So instead of the cords, Nintendo produces just a single cord. You plug in here, plug into your television. On the front, we still have the two standard controller ports. And then we still have the reset button. And what's new is, instead of a button, we have a switch, the power switch. Okay, let's get into the fun stuff though. Before we get into the games, they have sent me a controller, an official controller of the SNES. Now, it looks like this. Sorry, some people have been using it here in the store. I've been trying to boister my pre-sales a little bit, so I'm letting some people use this. So just like the original controller, we have a D-pad, again, directional pad, and then we have start and select here, along with the buttons used to control your character. Now, something a little bit different about the Super Nintendo Entertainment System controller is we now have two additional buttons, bumper buttons, up here. And just like the Nintendo Entertainment System, the controllers just plug in here into the front, just like before. Okay, so let's get into the games. I have some very exciting games here I would like to inform you about. So, first game here is a game called Tetris Attack. Now I know Tetris has completely swept the world in its popularity, and this is kind of a sequel to the first Tetris. This will incorporate some new mechanics into the game of Tetris and make it a little more challenging. It's very fun. Personally, I like it more than the original. And I hope you check it out. That is Tetris Attack. Now, I'm sure you remember, well, let's do this one. I'm sure you remember how successful Kirby was on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And here they have the next game in the series, Kirby's Dream Land 3. And what's cool about this game is you can play it as co-op. So obviously Kirby, the main character of the game, you can now control his little friend here if you want to play with another person, and you can play the whole game like this. It's pretty revolutionary. And there's some other features with some animals and such that are going to be in the game. These Kirby games are very, very fun. They kind of melt the line between adult and child games. I know a lot of children that enjoy these games, and I know a lot of adults that enjoy these games as well. So, it's Kirby, and Tetris. Now, with the success of Kirby and the success of Tetris, Nintendo has combined the two into a type of Tetris Kirby game called Kirby's Avalanche. This functions very, very similar to a Tetris game, but it's got, some Kirby elements into the gameplay as well. So, if you're a fan of Kirby and you're a fan of Tetris, I would highly recommend checking this game out here. And I didn't mention previously, but technology is improving very rapidly with computers, and the cartridges have gotten substantially smaller than the Nintendo Entertainment System, which is cool. I like that these take up, less space. Now, here is a game called Metal Warriors. This is a game produced by Konami, and Metal Warriors, it's a little futuristic. You control like a type of infiltrate person that can control these giant machines, robots, and you end up going on missions and stuff like that. It's very fun. Some of the levels are timed, which adds an interesting element to the gameplay. I would recommend this quite a bit if you enjoy that type of fantasy. Now, moving on here, over the last couple of years, I'm sure you've heard of the success of Mega Man on Game Boy and SNES. NES. This is a new game that was just released in the series. It's called Mega Man X. It should follow the style of the previous Mega Mans. There are various bosses, and you choose your level or boss that you want to play. If you beat the boss, you get a specific type of power, and you can use that power to progress farther into the game. It's very, very fun, and I will say, out of the Mega Man series, Mega Man X is quickly becoming one of my favorites in the series. So, if you're a fan of the Mega Man games, I would highly recommend you pick up this game. Super Mario World. So I was incorrect about how popular Mario would be. In fact, so incorrect that Mario has essentially become the face of Nintendo at this point. And we have a game here released in the series called Super Mario World. It follows the same format of the previous Mario game, but in this, we have improved graphics, improved game function. There is the addition of this little green dinosaur here, Yoshi. You can now ride Yoshi in the game, and it adds a whole new element to the game that I think you'll find very entertaining. Not much to say about Super Mario World besides it's a great addition to the game, and I think it will be very popular. Now, let's get into a little bit of controversy. So, I'm sure that you have heard about this game. Yes, Mortal Kombat. Love it or hate it. This is a adult style fighting game, and it has come under some very heavy criticism for how violent it is. They've even discussed creating a game rating system, so you know how mature the game is, all based on the release of this. There are some very graphic things in this game when you are fighting your opponents, but all of that being said, I will say this game is very, very fun. It is correct. It is a two-player game, so if you have two controllers, you can play against your friends, or if you don't, it's totally okay. You can play against the computer, and I will say the later levels are very difficult, but difficulty is fun, right? If it's too easy, it's no fun. So, with the release and controversy of Mortal Kombat, it has been addressed, and this game has also been released. This is Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct follows a very, very similar formula to Mortal Kombat. The difference is Killer Instinct has been rated T for teen instead of mature. So if you're a fan of the fighting game genre, and maybe you want to expose your child to these types of games, but you don't want it to be too graphic, Killer Instinct is a great alternative to Mortal Kombat. They're both fantastic. Now, last but certainly not least, the game that I have played the most since the release of the Super Nintendo. This is there's been a successful spawn of this series, and there's been some games released, but let me tell you, up to this point, none of the games in the series have come close to how entertaining this game is. This is easily one of my favorite video games I've ever played in my life, and that game is Super Metroid. So, when we talked last, I told you about Metroid on the Nintendo Entertainment System, and obviously that series has become very successful, and the protagonist was a woman. I couldn't believe it. I beat the game, and I was shocked, but it's very cool to see some female protagonists represented in gaming. This game takes those games a little bit farther. You're continuing playing as the protagonist Samus, and the graphics are amazing, the music is amazing, and the atmosphere will swallow you up as you play this game. I would highly recommend you play Super Metroid if you're a fan of the series, or if you're a fan of exploration type games. It is fantastic, and it might be my favorite video game I've played up to this point. So, thank you for coming by today. If you check these games out, please let me know if you enjoyed them. And the Super Nintendo, when it comes out in a few months, should retail for about $300. So, if you have that chunk of change, please come back and we can make this happen. In the meantime, I have another prototype that I've been exploring. And if you enjoy me giving you the scoop